Getting down to the person emojis that I've not yet covered. So there's a few examples where it used to be ungendered and now there's a female and male version, and a few where it used to be genders and now there's neutral, which both represents people who are not male or female and generically represents the profession or whatever without gendering it. Like, some cops are AMAB, some cops are AFAB, but all are assigned cop at birth. It would be ridiculously pedantic for me to go through all of those spells, so it is quite tempting. But I've done this kind of disclaimer before, and it's more important to actually have content. These are not different enough to things I've already done. Look, Claus, which sounds like something that's been added to company policy, right? To be inclusive. It's ridiculous to make Santa Claus non-binary because everyone knows that Santa is the Spanish word for saint, feminine. The character was always meant to be female. But this isn't Santa Claus. Claus brings you the true gift of freedom from the binary. If Mrs. Claus is in the law, then we have to presume that these three are in a throuple. I choose tidings of comfort and joy pixels. The idea of offering ungendered emoji plus male and female options makes perfect sense, but it's always going to be a bit messy. See, the ninja snuck into emoji 13 without even needing gender variants. They'll be gone before you can form any preconceptions on them, except that they're really cool, like a ninja. Twitter's has a little droopy beak down there. Quack. I should maybe say the thing about how ninja didn't really look like this and weren't even called ninja, but really it's a letdown that this emoji is visible at all. Let's say WhatsApp. Then the opposite scenario for the Prince S. Have you noticed that loads of the words for outmoded hierarchical roles are gendered? We will not truly be equal until we can be ruled over by an extremely privileged person without a gender. The princes are auditioning for one of those movies about marrying a prince. There's the plain guy, which, we'll probably get it. The tiara's a bold choice. Samsung have this child character they always use, but what he lacks in experience, he makes up for in Crown. Facebook's character is that smarmy prince from a 3D Disney film who'll learn his lesson in the end. Openmoji, I don't want to rely on stereotypes, but I think they're invoking gay stereotypes. The pink, the hair, the gay men have no necks, right? That's the thing. Then there's Axis Powers Hetalia, and this horrible face again, I will not miss looking at that. Girl Boss applies the same formula, obviously, but it's actually been around for much longer, so there are more contributions. If they're a matching pair though, like they could be married, then I'm kind of worried about this Emoji Death's relationship. What does she see in him? There are some dismal old designs like me at Christmas 2006 with the party hat pulled down and Princess Slug for herself, but Messengers is best and Joy Pixels for Prince. As ever, they can have different skin tones, but don't let the Daily Mail know. Person in Tuxedo was once known as Man in Tuxedo, but now it's Person, and there's a separate man, and you see why I'm bored of explaining these things. Maybe it was intended as a man from a wedding, but I doubt it gets most use for that. You only get married like 5 times. But think how often you watch Men in Black. I mean, people in black. They're mostly well-groomed. This suave little Adam Scott is kinda impaired by his pink button nose, and I went to school with this kid. His name's Ian. That's not a very accessible reference, but if you went to school with Ian, you'd know that's Ian. It's possible that Openmoji's necklace disease is contagious. Look, we want ungendered, we want WhatsApp. Men have appropriated the tux, and WhatsApp do best. Then there's even women wearing it, and I'll choose WhatsApp. The other gender is veil, and I'd like to congratulate Ian. This is one of those where the female designs leak into the neutral design, and I don't really need this outfit to exist without femininity, but there's still a separate emoji for the woman of this, so this should be non-binary. So obviously I'll like the messenger one, but not be able to pick it because it's been put on this page, even though it was completely appropriate at the time of its design. And like, SoftBank's is lovely, and Samsung's veil is just droopy bunny ears. Microsoft's is a tree angel. Say WhatsApp. Female Apple. Then, a man in a veil is validly male. He's rocking it. He's better at gender than anyone who derides him. It might not be necessary to emoji, but since when has necessity been an obstacle here? Have you seen this show? This is expanding emoji lore, and you can't fight the lore. The lore won. A man in a wedding dress is so male he could be called Ron. Ron masculine. Ron Masculine is an anagram of my name, and the persona I use for my sex career. It's WhatsApp. Something with a bit more gender association is breastfeeding, which is when your breast is hungry, so you find a baby for it. There's a lot of different takes for this, like Emojipedia staring you down, daring you to say it's not appropriate in public, or just using the fact that it is appropriate in public to get away with making inappropriate eye contact. What an awesome life hack that is. When I breastfeed, I'm gonna go rob banks and be like, I'm allowed to do this! Emoji Dances has, like, a bra made of baby. This is when you've got too much crockery to carry, so you use your breast. Twitter's baby has a real pointy nose. Some of the baby shapes are off, but I guess we don't really know what these adults look like below the boob. Microsoft's kid has already come out as trans. Is it a point that these are all drawn as women when other emoji have become ungendered? I don't know, yeah, maybe. Doesn't bother me, but I'm not really in the demographic to have a say. Listen to someone who is if you want to know, but there's not many valid arguments for exclusion. Expand the law. The funnier demographic tangle is the skin tone of the kid, because, like, that's not necessarily gonna match. So that's why these babies are all obvious fakes with no skin showing, and these breast havers are all bank robbers with a prop baby. They're allowed to do it! I think Apple do best. You've seen the breast, now see the rest. We've got this thing of someone blindly applying glue to a melon. The arms of Openmojis kind of shows that they might need some milk themselves. Ian's come a long way. This is WhatsApp's, but the man hair is horrible, so that one's Samsung's, who's finally aged up their character now he's a father. You can tell it's episode 92. A few of these seem to miss the mouth or have their eyes closed, which is dangerous during a bank robbery. WhatsApp. The main thing we've not been able to do this past year was at least added to the emoji world to mock us. They get to expand their lore. Be careful you don't spread a computer virus. I kinda feel it's inappropriate for me to be broadcasting myself looking at these. Let's get rid of those that are making out, those whose heads fuse together, and this really flat one. Like, yeah, my friends are underweight, but not in that way. Emojipedia's is a bit choky, like, if that's how you consent to being hugged, then fine, I guess. There's a lot of comfort on this page, meaning I should maybe have put it in the fantasy episode. I like WhatsApp's best. That angle kinda makes for a first-person perspective, except from behind, which isn't first person. It's a third person who's watching them from afar, hugless, through a screen, as they make a video about which emoji design is best. I think I need a break. If you liked this video, that's enough.